All right, let's talk. If you're a founder and you have that nagging feeling you're leaving a ton of money on the table simply because you hate the idea of selling, then you're in the right place. We are going to break down exactly how you can finally give yourself the permission you've been waiting for so you can start building that high-ticket empire you deserve. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover a silent revenue killer I call the hidden bother tax. Then we'll dive into the identity that's actually fueling it. From there, I'll introduce you to the protocol that completely flips the script, and we'll map out that critical shift from feeling like a salesperson to acting like a leader. And finally, we'll see how all of this becomes the rock-solid foundation for your empire. Everything we're about to cover really boils down to this one powerful idea. The biggest thing holding you back isn't your strategy, it's not your offer, it's an internal decision. That permission you've been searching for? Yeah, it has to come from you. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the hidden bother tax. And listen, don't mistake this for just feeling a little awkward about sales calls. This is way deeper. This is a strategic flaw, a silent leak that is actively draining potential revenue right out of your business day after day. So what exactly is this tax? Well, the bother tax is basically this self-imposed penalty that you pay every single time you hesitate. It's the cost of your silence. Every ideal client you don't reach out to, every offer you don't make because you're worried about bothering someone, that adds up. And it's a very real, very tangible tax on your growth. Let's make this real for a second. I want you to actually think about this. What has this fear, this hesitation to be a bother, already cost you? How many perfect clients have just drifted by? How much revenue is just gone? What is the actual price tag of this invisible tax on your empire? You see, that bother tax we just talked about, it's really just a symptom of a much deeper issue. The root cause is an identity problem that I call the waiting founder. And this is where we discover that permission, or the lack of it, is the real bottleneck holding you back. I once asked a brilliant founder why she almost never mentioned her absolutely incredible high-ticket offer. And her answer was so simple. She just said, "I did not want to bother people." But here's the thing. When I asked her if her work genuinely helped people, she immediately said, "Oh, absolutely yes." The problem wasn't the value of her offer. It was her identity. She hadn't given herself permission to sell. And this is the trap, right? This is where so many amazing founders get stuck. They're waiting for some external signal to give them the green light. They're waiting for their audience to beg them for the offer. They're waiting to magically feel more confident, or they're waiting for even bigger results to finally justify the sale. But that's a huge misunderstanding of how this works. Permission is an inside job. So this is the fundamental reframe that changes everything. The old model, the one that makes you hesitate, sees selling as an interruption. It feels like pressure, right? It feels forced. And ultimately, it's all about you and your fear. The new model flips this entirely. It reframes selling as an invitation. And an invitation feels like service. It feels aligned with your values. And most importantly, it makes the whole process about them. Now, this brings us to the actual solution. And this isn't just some clever little tip. This is a foundational system for your business. It's called the Invitation Frame Protocol. And I'm not kidding when I say it is the primary architectural brick you need to build a consistent $20,000 a month or more business. So let's define it properly. The Invitation Frame Protocol is a strategic framework that you adopt. It's all built on one single internal decision. You decide that your offer is so valuable that sharing it as an invitation to a better future for your clients, not some annoying interruption that you have to apologize for. And the protocol itself is incredibly simple. It just breaks down into 3 clear, actionable steps. Number 1, you have to decide. You have to decide deep down that your offer truly deserves to be shared. 2, you reframe the entire act of selling as an act of service to the people who desperately need what you have. And number 3, you just issue the invitation, clearly, confidently, openly, and without a hint of apology. Now, when you really commit to this protocol, something incredibly powerful starts to happen. It's way more than just changing your sales tactics. It's the final identity shift. You stop operating like a hesitant salesperson, and you start showing up as the leader you truly are. This right here, this is the old way. This is the salesperson almost begging for a moment of someone's time, hoping they're not a bother, just asking for a tiny sliver of attention. It's a position of weakness, and it just doesn't work for high-ticket offers. And this is the new model. This is the leader who stands with authority, with posture, and confidently offers an opportunity. You're not asking anymore. You are issuing an invitation. The entire power dynamic just flips on its head. And you know what the best part is? You can stop worrying about annoying people. Because the right people, your ideal high-ticket clients, the ones who are actively searching for the solution you have, they won't be annoyed. They will actually appreciate the clarity and confidence of your invitation. It acts as a natural filter for the best clients. So let's bring this all home. That internal identity shift we've been talking about creates massive external results. It's how you finally start building the business you've always wanted. Your high-ticket empire, built on a foundation of solid authority, not crumbling hesitation. I want you to really let this sink in, because it's the most important takeaway here. You simply cannot, it is impossible, to build a strong, stable, high-value empire on a foundation of fear and hesitation. It just won't work. That structure will eventually collapse. Authority is the only foundation strong enough to support an empire. So if you're really ready to make that final shift from salesperson to leader, your next logical step is to visit 365freedom.online. We can help you lock in this change and get to work building your empire on the right foundation. So I'll leave you with this question. Take an honest look at your business, at your actions, at your mindset right now. What is your foundation really made of? Are you building on hesitation, or are you building on authority? The choice and the empire that follows is entirely yours.